I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the Force Development Flight Chiefs course. It is my intent to provide you with a basic understanding of the magnitude of what you have been asked to manage as the Force Development Flight Chief and to provide you with an overview of your role. The goal of force development in the Air Force is to develop innovative airmen who can influence processes and inspire people to shape and redefine the battle space. The Air Force is committed to deliberately developing its force through education, enhancing leadership and management skills, training, building fundamental skills, and experience, enabling airmen to apply those skills in order to allow airmen to develop the depth and breadth of experience to assume operational, strategic, and leadership responsibilities. It is important that Force Development Flight Chiefs understand why we develop people, how we develop people, and the opportunities available for development in the Air Force. The important governing documents that provide instruction and understanding of force development in the Air Force are, first of all, Air Force Doctrine 1-1. This is the cornerstone document for Air Force force development. It defines the 3 developmental levels of tactical expertise, operational competence, and strategic vision. It also institutes the use of competencies in the Air Force, which include institutional competencies, which are expected of all airmen, whether officer, enlisted, or civilian. Occupational competencies that give airmen the ability to execute their jobs. The second important doctrine is Air Force Directive 36-26, Total Force Development. This document gives the Air Force the governance structure to oversee force development in the Air Force, starting with the Force Management and Development Council, which is chaired by the Vice Chief of Staff, and support subordinate panels that look at specific populations and issues. Finally, Air Force Instruction 36-26, which implements Air Force Doctrine 36-26, provides policy to develop competencies in all airmen through education, training, and experience. Additional governing documents that Force Development Flight Chiefs need to be aware of is Air Force Instruction 36-2306, Voluntary Education Program, which provides educational opportunities for active duty, guard, and reserve. The next is Air Force Instruction 36-2301, Developmental Education. This instruction defines developmental education for officer, enlisted, and civilians. The next document is Air Force Instruction 36-2302, Professional Development, which defines programs and identifies roles and responsibilities for advanced academic degrees and professional continuing education in the Air Force. The next document is Air Force Instruction 36-401, Employee Development and Training, which defines programs, identifies roles and responsibilities for civilian training and development. The next is Air Force Instruction 36-2605, Military Personnel Testing System, which defines roles and responsibilities required for delivery of language weighted airman promotion system testing. The next is Air Force Instruction 36-2201, Air Force Training Program, which provides training policy for officer, enlisted, and civilian. The next 2 slides provide points of contact, email address, and phone number in the event you may have questions about a specific document related to force development.
Yeah, but NCOA, the ALS is no longer American. The NCOA side is
The next document provides you with an overview of the force development governance structure within the Air Force. The Force Management Development Council, which is established in Air Force Doctrine, Policy Doctrine 36-26, and further defined in Air Force Instruction 36-2640, is a corporate body which provides institutional perspective on the United States Air Force-wide management and force development. Under the Force Management Council to the left are the subordinate panels which provide oversight to specific areas. For example, the Officer Force Development Panel, Enlisted Force Development Panel, and the Civilian Force Development Panel. The two panels to the right provide the synchronization that's required to ensure the force development programs run smoothly in the Air Force, and they are the Air Force Learning Committee and the Expeditionary Skills Senior Review Group. The next slide provides you with an overview of how force development is executed in the Air Force. It begins with the commander and supervisor, who serves as a mentor in developing plans and making recommendations to their subordinates on developmental opportunities in the Air Force. It moves up next to the developmental teams and career field managers, who serve as an advocate for specific career fields within their particular functional community. It then is executed and oversight for the functional manager responsible for the day-to-day management over specific functional communities. And finally, the functional authority, which provides the oversight and functional advisory services to functional communities related to their specific areas. I would now like to review force development levels within the Air Force. The first is the foundational knowledge, which provides airmen with a basic enculturation to the Air Force, both civilian and military. At the tactical level, airmen master their primary duty skills, apply those skills, and gain both an understanding of team leadership and appreciation for institutional leadership. At the operational level, competence level, airmen are able to understand the broader Air Force perspective and the integration of diverse people and their capabilities to execute operations. They are able to apply an understanding of organizational and team dynamics. At the strategic level, airmen combine highly developed occupational skills and institutional competencies to apply broad leadership capabilities. Airmen learn how operational capabilities and airmen are integrated to achieve results in the joint, multinational, and interagency context. I would now like to review the two major competencies that are identified in Air Force Policy Doctrine 36-26, which codifies the use of competencies. These competencies are required at various levels and in various combinations throughout a member's career, and they are critical to the accomplishment of the Air Force mission. Occupational competencies are related to specific career field duties and are continually under development by the various functional communities. They are related to specific areas of expertise that enable individuals to successfully perform their unique duties. The Occupational Development is guided by the member's functional community and career field team. Institutional competencies create a context for how to develop airmen and provide the framework for creating leaders. Institutional competencies span all occupations, functions, and organizational levels, and support the performance for all Air Force personnel. The primary role of the Force Development Flight Chief is to serve as the key advisor for tactical, operational, and strategic force development, recognizing that their customers are commanders, active duty, guard, reserve, employees, supervisors, managers, contractors, vendors, functional organizations, and academic institutions. The next slides provide you with the names and email addresses of individuals who can help you with specific program areas. For example, in Civilian Leadership Development, the point of contact is Ms. Mary Vanderwilt. For Officer Leadership Development, it's Lieutenant Colonel Jason Knight. For ancillary training, example is Ms. LaDonna McGrew. Again, phone numbers and email addresses have been provided for program support points of contact. Additionally, there are some very valuable tools available to support you in your role as a Force Development Flight Chief. You see, first bullet identifies those tools available to you in the voluntary education area. The next bullet is the Career Path tool, which provides users with a visual representation of their career and potential pathways for future development. Each tool has a point of contact, the email address and phone number in the event you have questions about the use of the tool. I would strongly recommend that you review these tools and become very familiar with their use. The next is MyDP, which provides users with career field news, career pyramids, training, and educational opportunities specific to each career field within the Air Force. This tool has just been updated and enhanced. Career field teams, available to you at the AFPC website, which provides specific information about the specific functional communities. The Supervisory Resource Center, which provides information to supervisors, both military and civilian, of civilian employees. Again, points of contact have been provided for you.